Jessi Colter, born Miriam Johnson in 1943, grew up in a strict Pentecostal household in Phoenix, Arizona. Her early life was deeply shaped by religious teachings, structured routines, and gospel music. Her mother, a devout believer and minister, instilled discipline, faith, and a strong sense of right and wrong. From a young age, Miriam felt a creative force stirring within her, something that could not be confined by church walls or expectations. She loved music and often played the piano, a talent she inherited from her mother, which would later become a foundation for her career. However, her spiritual upbringing left her with a tension between the life she was taught to lead and the life she felt drawn to pursue. This tension would influence her songwriting and the depth of emotion in her music for years to come. The death of her younger brother Paul was one of the most painful moments of her youth. His passing left a lasting mark on her heart, introducing questions about faith and the fragility of life. The grief shaped her view of God and the world, creating a sense of spiritual ambiguity that persisted even as she grew older. Despite these challenges, Miriam's love for music became a guiding light. By her teens, she began performing in local clubs, earning attention for her unique voice and musical talent. While she respected her upbringing, she realized that the church would not be the path for her. Her calling was in music, and she began to quietly explore the life of an artist, even as she navigated personal loss, family expectations, and the search for her own identity. At the age of 18, Miriam married guitarist Dwayne Eddy, a well-known musician in the rock and roll scene. This marriage gave her a glimpse of the music industry as she traveled and performed alongside him. She experienced the excitement of the national stage, but also the frustration of feeling like a shadow in someone else's story. Despite her talent, drive, and creativity, the environment and her role in the marriage limited her artistic expression. Over time, the marriage began to break down, and by 1968, Miriam found herself divorced and raising a child alone. This period of uncertainty forced her to confront deeper questions about who she was and who she wanted to become. It was during this transformative moment that Miriam made a bold decision. She adopted the name Jessi Colter, symbolizing a new identity and artistic freedom. The name reflected a balance of strength, modernity, and independence. Jessi's reinvention was more than a name change. It was a rebirth. She began carving out her own space in the music world, refusing to conform to Nashville's polished, commercial country sound. Instead, she gravitated toward the grittier, rebellious branch of country music that would later be known as outlaw country. Her timing was ideal. In the early 1970s, the country music scene was ripe for change. Artists like Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson were breaking away from corporate constraints, creating music on their own terms. Jessi Colter's voice, bluesy edge, and personal lyrics made her a natural fit for this movement. She wrote music that explored grief, loneliness, faith, and personal struggles, resonating with audiences seeking authenticity. Even though her early solo work, like the song I Ain't the One, did not achieve commercial success, it established her credibility among musicians and fans of the emerging outlaw country scene. Jessi was no longer a preacher's daughter or a musician's wife. She was becoming a powerful, independent voice in her own right, ready to make her mark on country music history. Jessi Colter's life changed dramatically when she met Waylon Jennings, one of the most iconic figures in country music. Their connection was immediate, built on mutual respect and a shared passion for authentic music. Waylon was already a defiant force in the industry, known for his refusal to conform to Nashville's rules and his struggles with fame and addiction. Jessi, having recently navigated her own identity and artistic rebirth, was drawn to his intensity and honesty. Their relationship quickly grew into a tumultuous but life-defining marriage, beginning in 1969. Over the next decades, their bond would be characterized by deep love, creativity, and moments of chaos. They faced challenges together, including Waylon's substance abuse and the pressures of public life, while maintaining a profound musical partnership. Jessi was not a passive partner. She actively supported him, navigating the difficult realities of addiction and personal struggle. She stood by him through nights of worry and uncertainty, providing spiritual grounding and emotional strength. Their partnership was built on loyalty, mutual respect, and the understanding that love required effort even during the hardest moments. Jessi's faith, cultivated since childhood, played a significant role in their lives, providing her with the steadiness needed to support Waylon while maintaining her own identity. Together, they helped shape the outlaw country movement, with Waylon pushing boundaries in the public eye and Jessi quietly establishing her own legacy. Their life together was a blend of highs and lows, marked by artistic brilliance, personal trials, and a shared commitment to authenticity in both music and life. Waylon Jennings' life was never without controversy. Known for defying Nashville's polished system, he constantly clashed with record labels, producers, and industry expectations. He sought creative control over his music, hiring his own bands and choosing his songs, which was revolutionary at the time. However, his success came alongside struggles with addiction, which escalated in the 1970s to the point of spending up to $1,000 per day on substances. Jessi was deeply involved in helping him navigate these challenges, remaining steadfast in her support. One of the most dramatic moments occurred in 1977 when Waylon faced a legal threat over alleged possession of controlled substances. Using his intelligence and quick thinking, he managed to avoid conviction, turning the situation into creative material by writing the song "Don't You Think This Outlaw Bit's Done Got Out of Hand." This period highlighted the duality of their lives: public fame and private turmoil, rebellion and personal struggle. For Jessi, these moments were emotionally taxing, but she remained a constant presence, helping Waylon regain stability. The couple's experiences were not only about scandal or industry battles, they reflected the personal costs of living outside societal expectations. Jessi's quiet strength complemented Waylon's rebellious energy, allowing both to navigate fame while maintaining their artistic integrity. Their lives intertwined in ways that made each success and challenge a shared experience, forging a bond that lasted decades and defined the outlaw country era. After Waylon Jennings' death in 2002, Jessi Colter stepped away from the spotlight, choosing solitude, reflection, and spiritual growth. The years following his passing were a time for personal rebuilding, exploring her own identity outside the role of wife and mother. She focused on faith, prayer, and introspection, finding comfort and clarity through the spiritual foundation of her upbringing. In 2017, Jessi published her memoir, An Outlaw and a Lady, which revealed her personal journey in intimate detail. The book explored her early life, her marriage to Waylon, her struggles, and her spiritual reflections. Unlike sensational celebrity tell-alls, her memoir was reflective, honest, and measured, offering insights into the quieter, often overlooked side of the outlaw country movement. That same year, she released The Psalms, a deeply spiritual musical project that blended gospel, country, and poetry. Jessi's later work emphasizes creativity, personal expression, and faith rather than commercial success. Even at 82, she continues to write, record, and reflect, sharing her voice with authenticity and purpose. Her story is not only one of survival but of reclaiming personal identity, navigating loss, and maintaining artistic integrity in the face of life's challenges. Jessi Colter's journey, from a preacher's daughter to an independent musical force, demonstrates courage, resilience, and the enduring power of creativity and faith. Even after adopting her new identity as Jessi Colter, the path to recognition was not easy. She was entering a male-dominated country music scene, where women were often expected to take supportive roles rather than lead their own careers. Her talent, however, was undeniable. Jessi's voice carried emotional weight, blending vulnerability with a strength that commanded attention. Performing in local clubs, she slowly built a reputation as a serious artist. But commercial success did not come immediately. Her early recordings, including I Ain't the One, demonstrated her potential but struggled to find a mainstream audience. Yet, these songs mattered more than charts. They were authentic expressions of her experiences, emotions, and faith. Colter's songwriting drew heavily from her personal journey, the grief of losing her brother, the uncertainty of young adulthood, and the desire to break free from imposed roles. While she had seen the glamour of her first marriage, she also experienced its limitations, realizing that talent alone was not enough to guarantee recognition. Her persistence and dedication, combined with a willingness to take risks, prepared her for the moment when her life would intersect with Waylon Jennings. That meeting would not only define her personal life, but also propel her career into new and unexpected directions. Her early struggles, therefore, were critical. They shaped her resilience, independence, and artistic vision, all of which would become defining traits throughout her life. Jessi Colter's union with Waylon Jennings went beyond romance. Their partnership represented a merging of two strong creative forces in country music. Waylon, already a legendary figure, recognized the depth and authenticity in Jessi's work. Together, they navigated the complexities of fame, industry pressures, and the turbulent lifestyle that often accompanied outlaw country. Their music reflected this intimacy and shared understanding. Jessi's songwriting complemented Waylon's rebellious energy, bringing a spiritual and emotional layer to the outlaw country movement. Her songs spoke to real human experiences, loss, love, questioning, and hope, offering audiences a voice that was both personal and relatable. Meanwhile, Waylon's public persona challenged the corporate music industry, setting a precedent for creative control and artistic freedom. Together, they performed, wrote, and recorded in ways that defied expectations. Jessi's ability to maintain her own artistic identity while supporting Waylon's larger-than-life career was remarkable. Their collaboration demonstrated how a partnership could balance love, respect, and professional ambition, even amid chaos. Fans of the era remember not just Waylon's powerful voice but also the depth and insight Jessi brought to the music, proving that outlaw country was not only about rebellion but also about heart, honesty, and emotional truth. Life with Waylon Jennings was not without its struggles. As his fame grew, so did his reliance on substances. By the 1970s, his addiction had reached alarming levels, threatening both his health and their family stability. Jessi was deeply involved in helping him navigate these dark periods. She provided a steady presence, often acting as both emotional anchor and spiritual guide. One of the most harrowing moments came when Waylon decided to confront his addiction alone in the Arizona desert. Without medical supervision or rehab, he attempted to detox cold turkey. Jessi stayed by his side through the excruciating process, offering prayers, comfort, and unwavering support. She later described the experience as witnessing every bone in his body scream in anguish, a testament to both the physical and psychological toll of addiction. Her steadfastness during these moments was critical. Waylon's recovery marked a turning point in their lives. For Jessi, it was a confirmation of the power of love, patience, and faith. It also reinforced her understanding of personal resilience, how to remain present and strong even when circumstances are extreme. These experiences, though painful, strengthened the bond between them and highlighted the often overlooked sacrifices and contributions of women in music history. Jessi was not merely a witness. She was a participant in the survival and eventual recovery of one of country music's most iconic figures. Waylon Jennings' life was full of public controversies that tested both his career and his marriage. One of the most notable incidents occurred in 1977 when federal agents investigated a package containing a controlled substance at a Nashville recording studio. Waylon's quick thinking allowed him to avoid conviction, turning a potential career-ending situation into a song. "Don't You Think This Outlaw Bit's Done Got Out of Hand?" Jessi's role in these moments was crucial. She remained a stabilizing force amid public scrutiny, emotional stress, and legal uncertainty. For her, these events were more than headlines. They were deeply personal crises. She had invested years supporting Waylon, and the fallout from public scandals affected her emotionally as well as socially. Yet, she never wavered. Her faith, calm presence, and understanding of human imperfection helped navigate these turbulent periods. In many ways, the controversies highlighted the contrast between public perception and private reality. Waylon's bold persona often overshadowed Jessi's quiet influence, but she was a central figure in managing the real-life consequences of fame and rebellion. Their life together demonstrated that the outlaw country movement was not only about challenging musical norms, but also about enduring the personal and social repercussions that came with living authentically. After Waylon Jennings passed away in 2002, Jessi Colter retreated from the public eye, spending time in solitude, reflection, and spiritual practice. The years following his death were a period of personal rebuilding as she explored her own identity outside the role of wife and mother. In 2017, she published her memoir, An Outlaw and a Lady, offering readers a detailed account of her life, marriage, and spiritual journey. The memoir was honest, introspective, and heartfelt, sharing stories that had remained private for decades. That same year, she released The Psalms, a musical project blending gospel, country, and poetry, reflecting her faith and personal growth. Even at 82, Jessi continues to write, record, and reflect on her experiences. Her later life illustrates the enduring power of creativity, faith, and personal expression. She is a testament to the idea that legacy is not only about fame but also about integrity, resilience, and the ability to tell one's own story. Jessi Colter's journey, from strict religious upbringing to influential musician and widow, demonstrates courage and the strength required to navigate love, loss, and artistic expression over a lifetime. Her story continues to inspire those interested in the history of country music, the outlaw movement, and the quiet power of perseverance. Born Miriam Johnson in 1943, Jessi grew up in a strict Pentecostal household in Phoenix, Arizona. Her early life was defined by faith, discipline, and gospel music. Her mother, a minister and devoted believer, instilled in her a strong moral compass, while the home was filled with sermons, biblical teachings, and hymns. Even as a child, Miriam felt a pull toward creativity, an energy that could not be confined by religious rules. She showed early talent on the piano, a gift passed down from her mother, and began exploring music in a way that would later shape her career. The death of her younger brother Paul marked a profound turning point, leaving her with grief and spiritual questioning that would linger for decades. While she maintained her belief in God, this loss introduced complexity into her understanding of life and faith, shaping the emotional depth of her later songwriting. By her teenage years, Miriam was performing in local clubs, learning to balance the expectations of her upbringing with her own emerging identity. These early experiences laid the foundation for her future as an artist who would challenge norms and create music that resonated with authenticity. At just 18, Miriam married Dwayne Eddy, a well-known guitarist in the rock and roll world. Traveling with him gave her a glimpse of the national music scene, but she often felt overshadowed. Despite her talent and creativity, the industry and her marriage left little room for her artistic voice.